Salam to all of you guys. In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to write the letters in Arabic, as some of you had recommended this type of video. We all know that there are 28 letters in the Arabic alphabet, yet you don't write them as same as the way how you see it, just like in English. You write them regarding their place or location in the word, whether they start at the beginning, middle, or by the end of the word. They may differ in the way how you see it. And that's what I'll be teaching you in today's video. Let's start with the first letter, Alef. Now, Alef, it could be written in the when it starts in the beginning, it would be written the same way as you see it. Like the word Ahad. Ahad, we already took this word, which means Sunday, but I just didn't say Al-Ahad. Al-Ahad means the Sunday. So Ahad, you write it just exactly the way how you say it. It doesn't get connected with the second word that is after it. But moving on, when you see it in the middle of the word, just like the word Al-Hafila, which means bus, Al-Hafila, it gets connected with the word that is next, with the letter that is on your right, and get disconnected on the left side. Just the word Al-Hafila, you see that it is attached to the Ha letter, but get disattached when it comes to Fa. Not just Fa, any letter that gets after it on its way. Now, how do we write it in the end of the word? In the end of the word, you would even do it as same as in the middle. Get connected with anything that is on its right, but disconnected when you see anything on the left, just like the word qalamuha. Qalamuha, as you've noticed, it is the same way how you write it in the middle, you write it in the end. Moving on to ba, ta, tha. Ba, ta, tha are generally or common. All of them have the same way how you will write it, but it's just that you are gonna add 2 dots or 3 dots or just a dot in like down below the ba. So we will start in with the word Banafsaji. Banafsaji, it means purple. I've already taught you that. And for ta, you will write it as the same way as you see the ba in Banafsaji, but it's just that you would put instead of a dot below the ba, you would put 2 dots above. Same goes with tha, 3 dots above. Now moving on to in the middle of the word, such as the word al-bayt, which means a house. I've already told you this word in my previous video, so make sure you guys check them out. Al-bayt, as the way how you see the ba after the lam or like the, it goes in between. Same goes with ta, same goes with tha. And if you see ba, ta, tha in the end of the word, such as the word again al-bayt, I would keep it as an example, you will make it connected with the another word that is next to it, like yeah, you were gonna keep on next to it. However, if it was the word bab, which means a door, since the letter that is before is Alef, and I've told you previously, Alef doesn't get connected with anything that is on its left side. So you would write the second letter bab, ta, tha, ba, ta, tha, as the way how they are written. Bab. You literally do nothing extra. Moving on to jim, ha, kha. Jim, ha, kha, they are the same thing, same as ba, ta, tha. They are kind of similar when you write them, same concept for them, but it's just that the jim has a dot below the curve and ha has no dots. Kha, you have to put the dot above. Let me go for an example, such as the word khabar. Khabar means to tell. I never taught you this. Khabar, as you may noticed that the kha is right in, it's just you have to do the curve, open the curve, and you put a dot above. But if it was habar, just replacing the kha with ha, then you have to remove the dot And if it was a jim, such as jabar, and how to write it in the middle? For instance, let's take the word al-jum'ah. Al-jum'ah, again, you would attach both of the side. It's going to be attached in the middle. The ha, the jim, ha, kha, would be attached in both sides, get connected. You have to, guys, know that jim, ha, kha, it is a connected letters, like ba, ta, tha. By the end of the video, I will, guys, show you all the letters that just doesn't get connected to the left side. Moving on to another word that I haven't taught you, but you guys all know banafsaji is purple, but banafsaj is being purple, like purplish thing. It isn't a common word at all, like we don't even use it, but I'm just gonna use it as an example just for the sake of showing you how harf jim, ha, kha would look like if it is, or if they are in the end of the word. You're just gonna attach them and leave the way how you write it, how you see the letter. Moving on to dal, dal, ra, zai. Dal, dal, ra, zai are letters that get disconnected of anything that is on its left side, just like alef. Let me give you an example to understand how you guys write it. For example, ras. Ras means head. And as you can see, guys, the letter ra in the beginning of the word, you just write it the same way as you see it. Moving on, in the middle of the word, such as the word ashara. Ashara is number 10. I've already taught you this one previously. You may see that it is like the word alef. It gets connected to on what is on its left side, right side, and not connected on its left side. Now just, guys, be clear that the letter that is on the right side of the word, left side on the word ashara, it is ta marbuta. Ta marbuta and ta maftuha, I would be explain it later in my other videos, because there is another concept for it. But for now, just stick on how to write the letters. Sometimes you would see a ta marbuta that gets disconnected or connected. It depends on the letter that is after it. So if it is a ra, you would always see it this way, but if it was a sin, you would see it differently, like the word hafila, if you still remember how you could write it. And when you see any of dal, dal, ra, zai being in the end of the word, you would keep it or write it the same way as they come. Just like the word tilfaz. Tilfaz means television. I've already talked to this. Moving on to sin, sheen. Sin, sheen are the same word, same letters, but you're gonna write a sin and you put 3 dots above it. So sin, sheen, in the beginning of the word, such as the word shukran. Sin, sheen is a letter that gets connected no matter what place you're gonna put them in. So in the middle of the word, such as the word banafsaji means the color purple. Shukran means thank you or thanks. So you can see that it just gets connected in whatever it is on left and whatever on its right. But if it is a sheen, you're just gonna add 3 dots above it, and it will be a sheen. Moving on, if it is in the end of the word, such as the word annas means people, you would write it this way. Now moving on to letter or al-ahraf, sad, dad, ta, dha. Now sad, dad, ta, dha are again the same way, same concept should be applied into. So how do we write them in the middle, at the very start of the word? Let us give the word tayyib, which means okay, delicious, good. Tayyib, we're gonna write the ta, or whether it is a sad, dad, dha, you're gonna write them and then attach it to whatever next to it. And if it is right in the middle of the word, such as the word akhdar, which means green color, akhdar would be attached to what the letters that are between it. And moving on, if you see it like right in the end of the word such as sus. Sus is like the small chicken cheek. Sus, you would write it this way. Wow is a disconnected letter, again like alef, like ra, like dal. So but if it is next to aya, you would connect it. Moving on to ain and ghain. Ain and ghain, they are similar, and they are connected letters. They are the letters that get connected. In which way you write it, just like most of the alphabets. So starting when you see it in the middle, in the beginning of the word, such as the word ashara, which means 10, you would only write the first part of it. And if you see it in the middle of the word, now this is a trick, such as the word ba'arif. Guys, have you seen like the shape of the letter? It gets closed completely. It's like you build a small or like an upside down triangle in the middle of the word. And if it is a ghain, you're gonna do the same, but except that you would add a dot above the triangle, the upside down triangle, ba'arif. And when you see it right in the end of the word, such as the word ra'i'. Ra'i' means great, brilliant. Ra'i', I didn't taught you this word, but ra'i' is a good word. Ra'i'. Okay, so ra'i' or anything, or if it was a ghain, you're just gonna add a dot on top of it. You're gonna kind of like again put it in a square and continue doing it in the end, the same way as you see it. Moving on to our letters, fa, qaf are nothing unique about them. Same way, they are an attached letters that get connected, and they don't really change when you write them in at the beginning, middle, or in the end. But again, just to make sure you got the concept, let me show you some example on how you write it, such as qalamuha. Qalamuha means her pen. qalamuha, as you've may realized, qalamuha, you just gonna, if it is fa and qaf is right in the middle at the beginning of the word, you're just gonna go and write this circle, put a dot or two, if it depends if it is a fa or a qaf, and continue the whole word. And when you see it like right in the middle of the word, such as al-fi'l. Al-fi'l means verb, al-fi'l, or you could say the verb. As you can have realized, the fa is in the middle, and I'm connecting with the ayn and the lam. The lam, fa, ayn, al-fi'l. And if you see it in the end, such as the word al-harf. Al-harf is a letter, like the letter Alef, A, B, C, D, not the message. So as you can see, you just write it the same way as it is. If it wasn't a ra that is on its right side, then you're gonna connect it. Same goes with qaf, same thing. Or I would rather say the same concept is applied. Now the letter kaf. Letter kaf is a bit tricky. It is a connected letter, but it's just that the way how you write it at the beginning and the middle may differ from the way how you see it. I'll just give you an example so you could understand it, such as the word kitab. Kitab means book. Kitab. Haven't you realized there's like a zigzag going on? That's the way how you write kaf at the beginning and in the middle of the word. Like for example, if it is in the middle of the word, you would write it just the way as shukran, kaf. But if you see it in the end, like in the end of the word or at the end of the word, such as the word lonak, means your color. Shu lonak, if you remember, it means how are you, what is your color. Shu lonak, lonak. You would write it just the way how you see it or how you write it in the alphabets. Guys, please check my previous lessons because I've already taught all of these words in my previous videos. So make sure, guys, you watch them all. you like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified for our future videos. Let's get back to the lesson. Moving on to the letter lam. Letter lam or harf lam. You may, guys, confuse yourself with alef. You may think it is the same, but guys, I assure you it is not the same. Alef is more of like an the letter a sound, and lam is more of like the letter l sound. But again, I can't really keep on connecting or translating the Arabic exactly to English because it's just not gonna work. It is not the way how they are made. Can't be linked. But I can assure you that lam and alef aren't the same at all. It's just that in addition to that, I mean, the letter lam is a connected letter. It gets connected if it is in the middle of the word. I'll explain you, or I'll show you how. Now, from the word lawnak, you would see that the lam is attached to the waw, whereas on the other side, if it was alef, let's say alwan means the colors, you would see that alef is written separate, not attached to any of the letters, and lam is connected to the other letters. If it is in the middle, it just gets connected like any other letter, except the one that I told you they're never gonna get connected. And that's how you write it in the middle. And if you want to write it in the end of the word, or like at the end of the word, such as the word al-hal means the solution or the answer. Al-hal, that's how you write it. And moving on to letter mim now. Mim, we have an example as ma, means like ma ba'rif, I don't know. I've already taught you when you say ma or hear ma, it means I know for something that is belong to you, for a first person. And this is how we write it if it is at the beginning of the word ma, and the letter that is attached to it is alef, mad alef, not alam. Now, when we want to write it in the middle and in the end of the word, let me give you an example. Thamania. Thamania is number 8. Thamania. As you may see, it gets attached to the letter that is next to it. So again, if you want to see the letter mim in the end, we use the example as home, means they, but in the absent, they're not here. Home. As you may see, we just attach the meme. It looks exactly the same. Nothing will do in it. Just attach it. Moving on to our next letter, letter noon. Letter noon is nothing but it is the same as ba, ta, tha. But I didn't include it in the list because it doesn't come in the same order. I didn't want to confuse you, but it is the same as ba, ta, tha. It gets connected no matter where you put it. Let me give you an example to understand more and be clear about the concept. In my previous video, I've already told you about the ضمائر المتكلم, which are أنا and نحن. نحن. This is how you're gonna write it in the middle, in the beginning and in the end. You're gonna connect it. And you already taught you that ha is a connected word, so letter, so no matter where you put it, it's just gonna be attached to it, unless to the ones that aren't connected, such as alif, ra, zay, dal, zal. Those are like the only ones that doesn't get connected to anything that is on the left side. Following to my favorite color, benafsaji, which means purple. As you have seen, it is again in the middle, getting attached to whatever next to it. And moving on to our third last letter, letter ha. Letter ha, you can see it written like this or like this. Letter ha could be confusing since many people, even Arabs themselves, get confused between the ta al-marbuta and the letter ha. They look the same, but it's just that they're slightly different. I will be teaching you the differences between them in another video. This is going to be another story, and we aren't going to talk about it in today's video. Today's video is just going to be about how you gonna write the letters in beginning, middle, and in the end of the word. Giving an example as the word huwa. Huwa means him, but the term is a third person. He is absent, he isn't here. You are talking about someone that isn't here. Huwa. As you have may noticed, the letter ha just stays looking the same, and it gets attached to the whatever is after it. هو. Now in the middle you would say قلمهم, قلمهم, where it gets extra curvy. Like in the middle there is like this mermaid effect in the middle, mermaid tail. And if it is like at the end of the word, you say the word كتابه, كتابه. It gets like another circle, like a تاء مربوطة, but it is not a تاء مربوطة. كتابه means his book. I've already explained this word in my previous video. Moving on to the letter واو. واو is like again dal, ذال, ra, zai. It gets disattached to any letter that is after it on its left side. And if you see it on its own, then it means and. Wa is and. You don't say it wow, you say it wa. Now, for example, if you want to see the word, or you write the word wow in the middle, at the beginning of the word, such as warda means flower, a flower. As you may seen, wow and ra are letters. Wow, ra, dal are letters that would never get connected to anything that is after to it. So wow wouldn't connect to the letter that is after to it, and ra wouldn't connect to the dal, and dal wouldn't connect to the ta marbuta, even though ta marbuta gets connected with the letter that is before it, but since it is a dal, then you wouldn't do anything. And another famous, well-known, it is a jargon, but it is a famous and well-known, you would hear it a lot by maybe Lebanese more. The word ولو, ولو means and if, like and if, or like ولو, or means like oh you, ولو. It has two meanings, but it is very common, so I recommend you guys to get used to or be familiar. If someone says ولو, it would be in this tone, ولو. As you may have seen, the letter waw is just like the letter dal, zal, ra, zai, and alef. Just doesn't like to get attached to any word that comes after it on its left side. So now moving on to the last letter, which is letter ya. It's gonna be our last letter of the video. I've never taught you any single word that starts with the letter ya, but in today's video I will be teaching you another new word, such as yed. Yed, which means a hand, one hand. Yed. Now I know you're gonna be confused, amused, or have no idea where is the letter ya in the word yed. Well, I'm gonna tell you that the first thing that you see right here, I've placed an arrow, is the ya. It gets attached to anything that you put in between, in the middle, in the beginning, or even in the end. This is how the letter ya goes. That's our ya looks like if it is in the beginning or at the beginning of a word. But if it is in the middle, such as the word bait, bait, which I've already told you, it means a house. Bait, they is going to be attached, or let's say connected on both sides. Now in the end, or like at the end of the word, it's gonna look the same way how you see the letter ya in the alphabets, but it's just that you're gonna connect it, such as giving you an example, بنفسجي, even بنفسجي. As you may see, they look exactly the same, it's just that we're gonna connect it. So in general, I just wanna summarize one thing up. When you ever see the letter alef, dal, dhal, ra, zai, and waw, be careful. These letters would never connect to the word that is on their left side, only to its right. They would never be attached to anything that is on their left side, only to its right. So please take a screenshot of that. These are just like the 6 letters, 6 and only letters that would never be attached within the word itself. That was all for today. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Press the 3 golden buttons. And just in case, if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask in the comment section. Now make sure, or if you know guys a friend who really is interested or she is interested in learning Arabic, don't hesitate and share the video with him or her. Spread the knowledge guys, please do that. Provide me with feedback just in case if you guys want me to improve or develop the channel furthermore on what you want. And thank you all for watching me, supporting me, and supporting this channel too. I really appreciate all of that. Great effort. And I guess that was all for today. See you in next video. مع السلامة. Bye. وداعا.